Thank you so much, everyone. We're kind of excited for today for a lot of reasons. First and foremost, the topics that we're going to discuss today are topics that you may have already heard to some degree in health classes and maybe even some discussion in some of your other curriculum classes and courses. However, today is the first time in a decade that we're actually here together as a Westbrook community for a common cause. And it's really through the efforts of one of our seniors, through her senior project, Madison Libertor, who decided to more or less revisit the Red Flag campaign in our school since it last was done 10 years ago. We have guests here today with us. They'll be introduced later on in the program. We have someone from Southern Connecticut State University and also from some community organizations, and they'll be able to share with you some of their experiences and expertises in the area so we can leave with some additional new information that will help us along the way in our future. Also in the assembly, you will leave learning about what the Red Flag campaign is all about, its origination, and how Westbrook High School actually got involved. And you will also leave with some very valuable tools today in order how to navigate situations that you come across in your lifetime, whether they're for you, your friends, your peers, or your family. And let me tell you, when I say family, I'm not just talking about your immediate family, I'm talking about your extended family here at Westbrook High School as well, because we are a family unit. We truly are. And in our family, we need to respect that there are differences. And every single day you come to school, there's a portion that you of yourself that you could uplift someone and have a positive effect on them and have them move forward with their lives. We need to use our emotional intelligence as well as our mindset today to understand that the topics that we discuss may have a different meaning to the people sitting in the audience. And I'm not just talking about students, I'm talking about adults as well. So we have to raise our level of emotional intelligence, and we need to think that some of these topics may have an impact on many people in this audience, and we have to act appropriately. That's a lot of power to be able to uplift someone. Right? When I came this morning when I was coming to school, I said, we have the power to protect everyone in school. And I'm not talking about physical protection, I'm talking about emotional protection. Right? Every time you walk down the hallway, you have the power to emotionally protect someone or to bring them down. So hopefully today is going to really help move us along in that direction, even more so than we have in the past. So now at this time, there's been a lot of effort and time and commitment put into it. I'd like to introduce Madison Libertor, Senior, who's going to take it from here. Thank you.
Well, hello. Thank you, Mr. B, for that wonderful introduction. Before we begin, I'd just like to thank Ms. Winch for allowing this to happen and all the staff and faculty for supporting me throughout this venture. So, where it all began. In 2005, the Virginia Sexual and Domestic Violence Action Alliance brought together a committee of faculty, staff, and students to form a campaign to tackle the problem of abusive relationships. And by 2006, 10 Virginia colleges were registered in the Red Flag campaign. Our mission. The Red Flag campaign is a public awareness campaign designed to address dating violence and promote the prevention of dating violence on college campuses. So why in Westbrook? We found that they were doing this on a college level, so we thought, why not bring it into a high school level in order to better prepare our students for their future and as they go off into college. So now we're going to look at a statistical perspective.
Females between the ages of 16 to 24 are roughly 3 times more likely to experience physical abuse. In addition to that, only 1/3 of teens who were involved in an abusive relationship confided in someone about the violence. But 67% said they would not have told anyone when they saw a red flag. So that's 67% of people who are in an abusive relationship who aren't saying anything and aren't going to someone about it.
Nearly 80% of girls who have been physically abused in their intimate relationships continue to date their abuser. And 50% of young people who experience rape, physical or sexual abuse will attempt to commit suicide.
One in 17 women and 1 in 45 men have been stalked in their lifetime. More than 1 in 4 teenage girls in a relationship report enduring repeated verbal abuse.
Roughly 1.5 million high school boys and girls in the United States admit being intentionally hit or physically harmed in the last year by someone they're romantically involved with. Teens who suffer dating abuse are subject to long-term consequences like alcoholism, eating disorders, promiscuity, and thoughts of suicide and violent behavior. So if you think about that, like 1.5 million people who are being intentionally hit or physically harmed in the last year, which is really scary.
So over 500 colleges across the United States currently participate in the Red Flag campaign, and in Connecticut alone there are 13 colleges involved, making Westbrook High School the first and only of the sort. So that means Westbrook was actually the first high school to join this campaign way back in 2010. So the 13 colleges that currently participate in Connecticut are Central Connecticut State University, Eastern Connecticut State University, Quinnipiac University, Trinity College, Southern Connecticut State University, the University of Bridgeport, the University of Hartford, Western Connecticut State University, University of New Haven, University of Connecticut, and Wesleyan University, and of course, last but not least, Westbrook High School.
And if you really think about that, that's all our state schools along with some really prestigious schools like Wesleyan, and we're a high school also involved with this, which is really big if you think about it.
So back on December 5th, if you guys can recall, you all took a survey, and the question was asked if you or someone you know had experienced the following regarding sexual abuse or domestic violence. And so here are the statistics. 25.5% answered yes to a partner who acts in ways to scare their significant other.
48.9% answered yes to a partner who acts jealous or possessive to their significant other.
45.7% answered yes to a partner who tries to control where one goes at all times to know where one goes at all times.
40.2% answered yes to a partner who checks one's emails, calls, or texts of their significant other.
22.3% answered yes to a partner who tells their significant other what to wear or make them change one's clothes.
34.2% answered yes to a partner who calls their significant other or texts them excessively, or instincts that one answers their call in a specific time frame.
16.3% answered yes to a partner who shoves, kicks, or hits their significant other.
35.3% answered yes to a partner who blames their significant other for the hurtful things they say or do.
42.9% answered yes to knowing someone who has been in an abusive relationship.
So we ask ourselves, why again? Why in Westbrook? And this is because why in Westbrook? Because one answer is one too many. So now before we hand it over to our guest speakers, we'd like to share with you a video.
Because I love you. I want to be. Because I love you. I want to be your only God.
Because I love you, skip class with me. Let's stay in bed today.
Because I love you, I just want to be with you so freaking much.
Because I love you.
I waited for you after Ken left.
You were walking with Mark.
Because I love you.
You shouldn't be hanging out with that dude.
You should know how dumb that makes me look. I don't care if she's your lab partner.
Why do you have texts from him?
Because I love you. This number, delete.
Because I love you. This is Jason's number.
Delete.
And Ben,
Delete.
because I love you, I should smash your phone.
I'll let you give me your password instead. Because I love you.
I will check your texts every day.
You got lucky. Because I love you. Because I love you.
You think it's okay.
Because I love you. You understand.
Because I love you. You stopped talking to your classmates. You feel completely alone.
Because I love you. That's not love.
All right, so now I'd like to hand it over to Melissa Kissy from Southern Connecticut State University. And we've actually been working with Melissa for the past 5 years now. We've had the opportunity to attend several of her red flag campaigns that they throw at Southern, which has been an amazing experience. And Melissa is part of the reason that we're here today, so.
Thanks, Madison. It's definitely been a pleasure to work with Madison and her team and Chet's team here at Westbrook, and an honor to be here with you all today. As she said, my name is Melissa Kissy. I am one of the victim advocates and also violence prevention specialist at Southern Connecticut State University. The office I work in is called the Violence Prevention Victim Advocacy and Support Center. It's a super long name, so we call ourselves VPAS, VPAS, Violence Prevention Advocacy Support. So we are a resource for students on campus at Southern. However, if your plans do take you to college, many colleges do have an on-campus resource, but of course, you're also going to hear from a community agency, New Horizons, so definitely use them or wherever your local community agency is if you go out to a college outside of this area. I had suggested showing this video from the One Love Foundation, That's Not Love, because we show it a lot in our prevention education at Southern, and it really, it's a lot of people talking, a lot of impact. So I know we can't really have a discussion of this size, but I hope that you think about and maybe take these discussions back with your friends of what's the impact that this had. It said it's not love, saying, because I love you, don't hang out with your friends anymore. So that's the essential point of it, that it's isolating somebody. So even though it's not physical abuse, it didn't indicate any kind of hitting, slapping, kicking, anything like that in the video, which physical abuse is certainly one form of abuse and should not be happening. But if you were paying attention to the statistics that Madison shared from the survey that you all took, almost all of those questions I noticed were based on emotional abuse and control. So emotional abuse, isolating someone from their friends, name calling someone, making them feel worthless, trying to control them, requiring that they give you your passwords or not be friends with someone, that's a problem. And it's important to recognize that even if, I work with students sometimes and they say, well, my partner has never hit me, so it can't be abuse. And that's just not the case. Nobody should be making you feel afraid or threatened or less than, and that can happen with just words, which certainly they're not just words. Other types of abuse besides physical, emotional, there's also sexual abuse, so that can be pressuring a partner to participate in sexual activities if they don't want to, if they don't consent to it. So that means there's no consent if somebody is pressured or manipulated or threatened or coerced in any way. Other types of abuse besides physical, there may be spiritual abuse. So that might be using one's religion or spiritual beliefs to justify abuse. So this is my background, or this is your religious background, so you need to stay with me because we're the same background, or you just need to listen to me because I'm the head of the household, or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of different factors that go along with that. Financial abuse. So we might think of that as, oh, that might be only with older people, but that's not the case. Financial abuse can include not allowing their partner to go to work or go to school. Because the hallmark of abusive relationships is one partner having power and control over someone. And you have power and control over someone, you don't want them to go to work or to go to school, which hopefully when you go to school, you're trying to better yourself, increase opportunities. And when you have opportunities or work, you get money, and that gives you control and independence. And abusers don't want that. So there's so many different kinds of abuse out there other than what we typically see as the stereotypical physical abuse. So it's important to see all those as red flags as well. And red flags are important to not dismiss. As Madison said, and some of your classmates have said as well, there's real risk in people experiencing abusive relationships. They talked about the increased risk of suicide. There's also increased risk of substance abuse. And just even if somebody doesn't experience those substance abuse or suicide ideation, there's a real impact on a human being. And as I said, that one person is too many, so it's important to not say, you know, I'll say something next time. Maybe it's not that serious. So if you do see something, to say something. And I think we're going to get into the ways to do that in a little bit, but really take this seriously, and I'm sure that you are. But it's not something that's just, a video that was made out of nothing. New Horizons in our office don't exist for no reason. There are real people whose lives are being impacted. The One Love Foundation that made this video was created after a student at the University of Virginia was killed by her boyfriend, who was also a student at the University of Virginia. And during the murder trial, her family kept saying, and her friends and her coaches and her teammates, she was a student athlete at UVA, kept saying, we saw the signs, but we didn't want to say anything. We thought it wasn't our business. We thought it wasn't that serious, and she lost her life. Closer to home, in 2013, a student at Eastern Connecticut State University, her name was Alicia Wiley. She was murdered by her boyfriend. So it's a real issue, and no, it doesn't always come to that extreme point, but even if it doesn't, people's lives are very much impacted. And there's a lot of reasons why victims stay with their abuser, whether it is from fear of them, if they've been threatened that they'll be harmed further, low self-esteem, definitely if you're constantly told that you are worthless, you start to believe that. Believing abuse is normal. Maybe you've been in the relationship a long time, or you've seen it in your home and you think that that's love, but it's not. So I think really just being aware of the red flags, that there are resources available, and that there are different ways to speak up, which we'll get into later. Please just be aware of that and know that nobody deserves to feel worthless or to be abused or to be harmed in any way, because you all deserve to be safe and comfortable in any relationship that you have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kissy. That was amazing. I'd like now to introduce Alyssa Martin, and also Denitra McBride is up here, and they're from New Horizons, like we said before, which is our regional domestic violence center. And so we just thought that was an incredible, source that all our students need to be aware of that we have, because Westbrook does fall under their jurisdiction. So I'd just like to introduce Alyssa Martin.
Hi everybody, how are we doing today? Good, good. Glad to hear it. I know it's early. As Madison said, my name's Alyssa Martin, and Denitra McBride, our program director, is over here too. We're both here today to talk about what New Horizons is, and also thinking about the survey results that Madison and the Teen Leadership Committee walked you through. We, as it's already been said many times, we are from New Horizons. We are the Intimate Partner Violence Agency for Middlesex County, which includes right here in Westbrook, We are one of 18 member agencies in the state of Connecticut. So there's something called the Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence. They decide what our standards are, and in order to be a domestic violence agency, you need to be a member of that coalition, which is what we are. We have many services we offer people. We have a shelter for Middlesex County that we run 24 hours a day, and we have clients that live there that we help with basic needs, with meaning like toiletries and stuff like that, but we also help people not only safety plan, which means you help someone stay as safe as possible, whether or not they choose to leave or stay in the relationship, but you also help them figure out what are their long-term goals. What are their long-term goals as they go through shelter and as what they want to do after they leave shelter, right? How do we help best support them find a way to be independent? We also do, we help people in the community too, who don't necessarily want shelter, but they just need someone to talk to. We do something called individual counseling, which we're not mental health therapists, but we are people that people experiencing intimate partner violence can speak to. And sometimes people need a space to talk. Maybe they don't know what their options are, but but we can help them figure out those options. And we can help them, assist them with where they want to go and what they want to do. We also, we have court advocates too, people who hang out in Middletown Court. They assist our clients with court matters, quite obviously. They assist people with filling out restraining orders, or they also help our clients deal with the aftermath if someone's been arrested for a domestic violence crime. They help people deal with that and the court process related to that. We do a lot of things, but we also do things like this. We do community engagement and outreach and education. I am the community educator, which means I go to schools, I go to colleges, I go to wherever I'm wanted or needed to discuss what domestic violence or intimate partner violence is and how we as a community can work together to stop it. So we've already heard from Melissa a lot of different types of abuse, and those are the types of abuse we deal with at New Horizons as well. We deal with the physical abuse, emotional, verbal, and psychological, and financial. But we also, another big thing that's actually super relevant to you is technological abuse. Technological abuse is really any method used to abuse someone using technology. So that can include constant messaging and texting. It can include using social media to ruin someone's reputation, or using social media to try to find somebody. It could include GPS tracking, using Find My Phone, pinging someone using whatever technology. And it can sound a little bit like a movie situation, that level of being able to find somebody using technology, but it's actually, unfortunately, something we see a lot. And so when we admit people into shelter or we're working with community clients, we have to make sure that their phone location is turned off, or we have to make sure that they are not only in a physically safe location, but that there's no way an abuser could use technology to find them. So thinking about the survey results that you've gone through so far, and what struck me the most is that they're actually really similar. We've already discussed this a little bit, and with the video we watched as well, but a majority of cases we see at New Horizons are emotional and verbal abuse. There could be physical abuse incidences, but we see a lot of emotional and verbal abuse. And the national statistics actually track with the survey results you submitted. From the Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence, the statistics they offer, so the physical abuse statistics are 1 in 3 women have reported experiencing physical violence at some point in their lives, and 1 in 7 men have reported experiencing physical violence at some point in their lives. By comparison, though, according to these same statistics, 1 in 2 women, or 47%, and 1 in 2 men, or 47%, so an even 50-50 all around, have reported experiencing psychological aggression by an intimate partner in their lifetime. More so, approximately 1 in 3 women, so about 39%, and 1 in 2 men, 41%, have experienced coercive control by an intimate partner in their lifetime. What that means is that coercive control and psychological aggression are forms of emotional, verbal, and psychological abuse. So no hitting has to take place for it to count as abuse. These are the national statistics, and I think it says a lot that the survey results you submitted reflect that the majority of instances, or the things maybe you've encountered, or someone you know encountered, that it is also primarily emotional and verbal. So abuse is much more than physical violence, and we've been talking about that today as well. But it's a really important takeaway. And you know, I could keep reciting numbers at you, but I think, like Madison already said, and like we've been saying today, the point of today is that any one person experiencing that violence is way, way too many. So I actually have a little walkthrough for you. I know you have phones. That's okay. This is the one time I'm saying it's okay to take them out. Go ahead and take them out. That's okay. I know. Give me a big shout when you have all your phones out. All right. Are you ready? I have to show you something. Are you ready?
Oh yeah!
Thank you. I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah!
All right. I'm gonna wait until we're quiet. All right. Okay, so on the screen there you see, if you go to the App Store, there is an app called TD411. It is a teen dating violence app made by the Connecticut Coalition Against Domestic Violence. It is free, it's just in the App Store, and if you want to, you can take a minute to find it and download it. You just look up TD411. Trouble with Wi-Fi? Okay, then we'll just show you what it looks like. So I have an iPhone, that's what it looks like on my phone. Then you just click it, you click get, sign in your password or Touch ID, which I prefer. And then and that is what it'll look like after you download it. You don't need an account, you don't need to register. That's the home page of the app. And there's the 411 on dating. They don't only talk about abusive things to look for with red flags or abuse. They also talk about what healthy relationships are. It's information on on any questions you have about dating violence, relationship violence, anything. Also, they have safety planning assistance. If you need help if you need to connect with New Horizons, they do have a page where you can put in your location, your zip code, and they will connect you to New Horizons. I also want to say that even though I'm showing you this app, this is something you can take home, this is something you can use. But Denitra and I are here today. We are more than happy to talk to you if you are experiencing any violence or if you just want to know more. We are here to talk to you, and we're here to help. So I encourage you to use this app and to reach out to New Horizons. It's not a closed door. We do just we're open to talk to people too about these issues. But thank you so much that's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm really excited that we're here today.
Okay, thank you so much. So now we're gonna get into the 4 steps of prevention. So the 4 steps. Speak up. When you hear or say things that support domestic violence, speak up and say what's right.
Step number 2, step in. When one person is mistreating another verbally, physically, or emotionally, step in politely to stop the situation if it is safe to do so.
Step 3, talk later. Sometimes it is better to wait and talk to the abuser or the abused later in private. The conversation may be more open and less defensive when one-on-one.
And lastly, know your resources. If you or someone you know is being abused, contact New Horizons Domestic Violence Hotline, and we'll actually be handing out little business cards which have the national and the New Horizons Domestic Violence Hotlines on them. So if you guys want to grab them on your way out, students will be handing them out. And there will also be an informational table right outside where the Westbrook banner is. If you guys want to just grab some stuff off there, it's just to, get to know a little bit more stuff about New Horizons, what they do and what they offer. So thank you so much, and yeah. So we're actually going to show you guys the Red Flag Campaign site. And we're going to go to the list of all the schools that are a part of it, and you guys can actually see that Westbrook High School is listed as the only high school under Connecticut.
So we went to the redflagcampaign.org and just navigated the site. There's a lot of places to go to. However, I'm going to go directly to the map. And this is a map of the entire country and all the participants in the campaign. And as you scroll down, you'll see there's a lot of colleges, all the universities, there's main places. And then you come to Connecticut. And in Connecticut, you will see that Westbrook High School is listed. And we're really proud of that because we're the only high school in the country right now that's actually part of the Red Flag.
Oh yeah!